Hey everyone, Ryan here, and I just want a moment to talk about starting your own podcast. I was a newbie, and still am, and know how intimidating it could be to start your own show. It's because of this, no matter all the other options out there, that I chose Anchor. So Anchor hosts your podcast, distributes your episodes to all the big hitters such as Spotify, Apple, and Google, and it even has recording tools to make a show on the spot without any additional software, and that's pretty sick. Not only that, but it gives you a nice little podcast website too, if you don't have one. Not to mention that there are opportunities to make money no matter the size of your audience. Sounds awesome and easy, right? It is. See for yourself. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. All right, now let's get back to chatting about games, huh? Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Couch Cat Podcast. I'm your host Ryan, and I'm currently running solo in the studio today. It's super cold and snowy outside here in Virginia, and I have no plans to leave until work. I'm all snuggled up, and I figured, hey, let's talk about some mobile MMORPGs. I got one in particular for you, but I'd like to name drop a couple that I've been fiddling with in my time just playing on my phone the last 2 weeks or some change. But yeah, so as you know, CouchCat in general has been very close with SimpleMMO, the creator and then the artist of SimpleMMO. So both Mike and Midnight, who goes by Pixel on his Twitch stream. Go check it out. I'll leave a link in the description to this podcast episode, especially if you want to see some cool art being done live. So yeah, we've got a lot of time with SimpleMMO. We've talked about it extensively. We do, content on it all the time. There's another one I'm playing. It's called Eidolon. It's browser based, but has been, made into a mobile app, at least on the Google Store. And it's really cool. I'm actually going to do an episode on it next time. But that is a name I wanted to drop because I've been having a lot of fun with it. But I'm not going to go into detail about it. I'm going to leave you guessing. Maybe, Google it for yourself and see what it's all about. It will not be a waste of your time. I promise you that. But the one I'm talking about today in particular is Mana Storia. It's a browser-based MMORPG, but it's also got a mobile app. It's definitely more appealing and more fun to play on the browser. But yeah, let me go into it for you. So Mana Storia, and this is all coming from newarpg.com, by the way. Awesome, awesome way to describe this game because I was like, how do I even, how do I describe it without it sounding like any other MMO, right? But Mana Storia is a free browser-based MMORPG, inspired by the Seiken Densetsu franchise. So they've been responsible for Secrets of Mana, Trials of Mana, hence the name Mana Storia. Anyway, you go on a journey into the world of Adale, I hope I said that right, and explore unknown regions. You'll face and capture hundreds of magical creatures, find special items to forge new equipment, and join other heroes in epic real-time raid battles. I've been in those, and I've been one-shotted. It's real fun. Challenge the world boss and advance through the tower floors to find precious treasures, unravel the rift dungeons, and become the most powerful hero ever. And then, from what I could tell from the Google store, the website's not really friendly when you're trying to find like about me info or like creator info in general. But from the Google Play Store, it seems like the developer / creator's name is Avenida Mar. Hope I said, God, I'm butchering so many names within like 1 minute. And then the distribution company, I Googled and it was like Middle Eastern. But yeah, I don't know if that was correct or not. I tried to find the source of this game, right? Yeah, so how did I come across Mana Storia? So Alan, fellow Couch Cat content creator, he's been on the podcast, of course. It is our podcast, right? But he introduced me to this game. He was looking around and he found it, I think, on a list for like browser-based MMOs and mix of mobile because we're always on the go. So we'd like to be able to play both, right? or at least play the game on both interfaces. And so he introduced me to the game, and it's one of those games because it's so, it's so early on and it's in its infancy. Like it throws shit at you to jumpstart into the game. So like you're a beginner, but you'll be like level 10 in like a couple hours, right? Because you're getting free in-game currency, bonuses, jumpstart equipment. It's they set you up to enjoy the game very quickly, so you don't lose interest and grind and have to grind, right? Um, which is pretty typical in an early access style game. They want you to get in quick. So because of that, and because of the gameplay loop, Alan and I were just chilling in Discord, and I think we played it for like 4 hours or something straight. Like it was nuts. Like I think I was like I was playing it like just a browser game, solo, talking to Alan, and then in between like I think matches of League and other stuff going on. But yeah, it fully grasped my attention. And I would say the general run, like the end run time, I think I played it straight for 4 days ish until I reached level 20, level 21. Um, but yeah, let me describe to you what that general gameplay loop is, and I would say it lasts pretty long. And I'll get to that in a moment too. But basically, so Mana Storia, the game is heavily pet focused, right? So most of the mechanics are built around that pet system. So whether you're capturing monsters to use as like food for your pet, or capturing monsters to get your pet, because the 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 party combat is generally you and your pet. That's what it comes down to. And like I said, being a new player, uh, that's alright. It's kind of like a hardcore community already, and they have a crap ton of codes to use. And I shit you not, they have a code for Digimon pets. So me and Alan were rocking like OG Digimon monsters as pets, and it was really cool. We actually have a list of these codes that players in game helped us, and we just compiled the list. So if anyone's interested in that, we'll have a pinned message in our Discord. You can also DM us in Discord as well, or email us if you don't even use Discord at all. But we have a list. We can help you get started. Like these people helped us. But right, so it's got a pet system, and so the general gameplay loop, like when you start this game and you blitz through the tutorial, because the tutorial is there to help show you all these zones, because there's multiple zones, which are in the browser it's just it's just a different page. And basically where you'll start is your home zone, and that's where you can rest. And the cool thing about this game is like resting, it recovers your health and mana, but it's like a 5-second wait. Like it's a instant rest. So like it's not one of those games that makes you, okay, you're injured, well, you'll be fully recovered in 3 hours, right? It's a instant regen. Well, it's a 5-second regen. It's not a limited duration or a planned duration. But yeah, so you have your home zone where you have your house where you rest. You have your place that houses your pets, where like I was saying or mentioning earlier, that's where you'll like level up your pet. That's where you'll feed your pet, and so on and so forth. You have harvesting. It's like a little farm, and that's where food. You'll harvest food for your pet. That's what it's used for, to level your pet up. And there's also auto looting resources. So you have like a wood area, a little fishing pond, and a mine, all within your home zone that you just tap. And what you'll do is, like I said, the mechanics are very heavily focused around the pet system. You'll assign monsters that you've captured. So like, I mean, technically they're your pets, right? Even if you plan to just use them as food or gather resources, you use your monsters and you assign them to the resource zones within your home zone, right? So you'll have pets at the wood place, and you set them up for like up to 2 hours, and they'll be gathering wood and other resources from that zone, such as same thing as the fishing pond and same thing as mining. So you assign your pets, and they're gathering your resources, and that's going to be your passive, um, you know, looting, right? Your passive resource looting, and from there, there's also the workshop, and you'll be using that to smith basic equipment and create crafting materials. From the looks of it, when I was playing, it's nothing too crazy. It's all like the basic, like the bronze swords and the iron swords, things of that nature. I didn't see anything like any like special items you could create yet. I might have missed something, but yeah, it's generally just to get yourself and be able to craft like basic equipment to survive the early levels. Um, yeah, so I mentioned pets. Okay, so that's pretty much like the home zone, right? That's where you get a majority of your passive stuff done. And when I say passive, I mean like your resources. That's like the idleness in this game. And then there's the town zone, and just like you'd imagine any MMORPG, that's where there's something called a black trader there, and that has like a daily like equipment list and items on rotation, and it gives you a chance to buy like some really good gear that you'd otherwise have to get from like a boss drop or something. So that's pretty nice. I think I bought almost every item I had from the black trader, because you make money like you make easy money in the early levels doing like all the tutorials, and do this for the first time. Oh, you just beat this objective, blah blah blah. But yeah, there's the bank where you can store your funds. There's the equipment market, which it's filled with basic equipment. There's the accessory market, pretty self-explanatory. Pet market, where you can buy pets. I haven't seen anything worth buying in it though. You're better off just like capturing something stronger in dungeons or using the codes, like I said earlier, that we have on deck. There's an item market, which is just general items like potions and stuff, and then or food, and then there's NPCs, scattered around on the map for a quest, and like these NPCs aren't roaming or anything. You just like a browser base, you just go ahead and click on them, and it prompts text, and that's how you get your quests, etc. So beyond the town zone, there's the world zone. That's generally where you'll be spending most of your active gameplay. Um, so there's multiple. So within the world zone, there's multiple zones that you unlock to travel to. I've unlocked two, and so the beginner zone and the one after you beat the beginner zone. They're unlocked by beating their specific dungeons, which are multi-leveled. They have, excuse me, they're called stages. So like Luan Highway, that's the beginner zone. It has 33 stages in it, and of course you're taking yourself and your pet, and you're running through the stages, farming the stages. So like till you get to the end stage, and that there's a boss fight, and then that's the game's way of saying you completed the stage. And then you go to world zone, and you'll see another zone open up, right? That's how you beat them. And so also in the world zone, there's multiple daily dungeons, and they each have their own purpose. Reminds me of that old, well, not old, it's still active, I think, but a couple of years old, the Final Fantasy mobile game that had like a crossover of like the whole Final Fantasy cast, and like it was a dungeon game, and it was the same thing. Like there's dungeons specifically for like a Mana Storia, money farming, EXP farming or experience, and resource gathering. So Mana Storia has all these dungeons, and it's like five. You get to do them 5 times daily, all of them 5 times daily. That's how you farm your bulk of your money at the point in your day, a bulk of your EXP, and the obscure resources you need for crafting. Also, there's a travel feature, and it's pretty similar to SimpleMMO, where there's funny text submitted by the community. So you're stepping along, there's random encounters, random resources, random battles. But in the step feature, there's an endpoint. It's like 50 steps, I think, and you reach a boss for that travel instance. So yeah, mainly in Mana Storia, the travel feature is to get to a specific boss that has, um, you know, good loot, and in some cases in the tutorial, um, has a drop that's a mission or like a quest item. Uh, there's also raids, and they're real time with multiple players. I joined it once. You have to be level 20, and I got smashed. So that was my experience, and I can't remember. I can't remember if you can see like active players with you. I know when I joined the raid, it was like 1 out of 20 party members, and I was the only one online doing it. So I think it is like real time party if people are like actively doing it. So that's pretty interesting. There's also a tower climbing system, but it says 3 daily chances. But I didn't. I wonder if that meant like until you like three, if you die 3 times, because I never really hit a ceiling. I could keep going as long as I beat the floor. And it's just another way to get EXP and to knock out objectives, like because there's a shit ton of passive objectives, which I'll hit on harder later. And then also, excuse me, also a world boss feature, kind of like SimpleMMO. There's a world boss that spawns, and it stays up for quite a bit, and the whole server has X amount of hours or whatever to defeat it. So that's pretty neat. A lot of things to do in the world zone. Like I said, it's mainly where you're going to be playing the game. Um, but yeah, and all that ties into like the daily objectives. Um, and and I will say, that's what this game is really good about. It's really good about like keeping you engaged and keeping you task oriented. So daily objectives, such as like PVE challenges or player versus environment, which is like kill X amount of, this certain type of mob or monster, craft X amount of this certain type of, um, equipment or item, uh, and more to it. Do this X amount of times, right? Like fish, blah blah blah. Cut this much wood. It's and it all ties into things you're doing in the world zone. So like you're in a stage and you're killing monsters, and it's the same type of monster as your daily objective for the day. It's knocking it out. It's crossing lists. It's very good at like providing gratification when you like leave a couple of stages, like you're doing your task, and suddenly you have like all these objectives done, and you're earning like in-game currency, and exp and all that other stuff. So it's really good at making you feel like you're constantly progressing and you're constantly getting shit done. And there is a lot of it. There is a lot of tasks, like I covered, like just you know monster killing, crafting, resource gathering. It makes it feel all important. And also the way this game works with like limiting your actions, they call it meat, which is essentially like energy, like you'd have in simple MMO or any other MMORPG or mobile game. And as a beginner, you get like 2,000 something meat, so you don't really notice it. But yeah, meat is your energy in this game. So for instance, the dungeons, once you beat a stage, you can auto clear that stage now, and it will cost like X amount of meat to do so, and it costs X amount of meat to just clear the stage initially. So you really have to plan out, especially if your meat pool is low, because it gradually increases as you level. But if your meat pool is low, you really have to like prioritize what you're doing. So like the world zone, like the daily dungeons, you definitely want to put that on your as high on your priority list. But yeah, that is your limiter in this game. Of course, it's affected um, by your level, and I think some premium stuff too. But yeah, so beyond like the zones and like the stuff that keeps you busy and like the general gameplay loop, there's some cool features for this browser-based MMO. such as like the character feature. There's attributes that include HP, MP, attack, damage, defense, and speed, um, to really provide those like RPG stats. I know like Ninja RPG does it and a couple other, but I've been so heavily focused in Simple MMO. There's only three different things you're really leveling. So it's kind of nice to see more than that. There's also, which is I think really, it really ties into like the progression and making you feel satisfied when you're actually putting in the grind daily at this game is passive masteries. As you like battle, battle, what the fuck is that? Like bagel? I don't know. But as you battle and as you manage resource gathering, you have passive masteries that they level up, uh, and they give flat bonuses, such as like your sword, sword mastery, archery, etc. There's also mages too, but also like fishing and wood cutting and all that's mining. Every time you're doing it, I said this before. I really like games that have like that like active like progression or feedback. Like you have to be actively engaged to like level up certain skills. You know what I mean? It really does provide that for me. Knowing like, okay, I'm not just gathering this wood, so I have wood to like craft something, right? Like I'm actually leveling up and gain bonuses and getting better, and um, it's nice. So there is, which is cool. There's a skill system based on weapon type. So sword, bow, staff, and staff is for magic. It's not like a cool monk thing. But yeah, so you actually can put, you get skill points to put into skills to help you in, the dungeons, and they cost mana. And if you don't have mana potions, like you can run dry pretty quickly. But save them for the boss fight, and yeah, it's cool. They even have their own animations, so that's a nice touch. Um, and then there's avatars, so they can be earned through events or bought in game. And then there's skins, which can also be bought in game or traded with in game currency, which leads me into the premium shop, right? So that's pretty common practice now with anything on mobile, anything browser, anything early access, anything small, and needs, so find a way for sustainability, right? It's an active project. They have a premium shop, and there's two stores. The first store is a diamond store, and it's got premium skins that you can't buy in game with like the in game gold, right? You'd have to get diamonds, right? So premium skins. There's some items and fairies, and fairies are in this game. You equip them for like a limited time, and they provide like bonus exp, bonus defense, bonus attack, whatever, what have you. That's what they are. And also, I will add, you don't have to pay to play this game. Like everything is given, everyone's given a fair shot at being good at this game and progressing at this game. But I will say, like playing Simple and having dived into a couple others before Simple, this premium membership is really cheap. So, like for instance, like 9.90, right? So like essentially $10 US nets you 5,200 diamonds, right? But you can get 120 days of premium for 3,400 diamonds. So essentially $10 can get you premium for 120 days, and whatever extra shit you want, with the rest of your 5,200. Okay, so think about that: 120 days of premium. It's pretty nuts. Where others are, they're making you pay, like $5, per 30 days. So it's cool. I mean, if you wanted to support, if you play this game, you want to support them, you could drop 10 and never drop another dime, right? That I think that's enough to see if that game, will grow or not, or be successful. And then the second shop, or excuse me, the second store within the premium shop is Ticket Store. These are earned in game, and they can be used to trade in, for basic skins. Some items, it's not as big as a premium or the diamond store, and some fairies, which again are time limited buffs like EXP. or experience gain. But yeah, the tickets they're earned through like objectives and task completions. Some quests give them too, and the skins you can get with them, I would kind of think of like say Simple MMO, like you get some your like monthly reward because Simple MMO gives you like free diamonds, and if you save up like 10 to 20 diamonds, um, I believe right can net you like a pretty basic avatar, and without having to like without having to like get lucky from like a drop and get one or like a trading game for one from another player. But yeah, that's what pretty much the ticket store. It just allows you to change your skin, which in turn are um, the same thing as avatars, right? But there's like two sections for each one. I don't know. I might be confused there. But yeah, so that's Mana Storia in a nutshell. It's a game that you could easily dip 20 minutes in, maybe not 20 minutes, but yeah, 15 at least, doing your daily dungeon, setting up your pets. You'd probably come back, like, once you do your daily dungeons and, do your meat, you'd probably come back just to, farm a certain stage that gets you the most EXP and, loot drop. And then also just to reset your pets to gain those resources in your home zone. And when you start this game early on, you get premium for like 6 days, so you can try it out and blitz through the early game and see if this is something is worth your time. Um, but yeah, that being said, there are early access limitations like any other game that's currently in development. The story mode, that's pretty much like the tutorial mode, um, and it has you on rails, dude. Like it has you blowing through this game, um, but it stops suddenly at level 20 because it hasn't been implemented or developed beyond that point. So if that's something you're looking for, it stops at level 20, and then you're pretty much left to do the gameplay loop, right? Grind. Um, but you know, as sad as that is, that's barely like 30% of the game because there's so much going on with your dailies and your objectives. But there is more than enough daily content, without the story mode beyond that point. The dungeons, the raids, the events. There's frequent patches. And when I was playing it, like the 4 to 5 days I was playing it straight, there's a patch almost every day. And there are many events like, EXP events or money events or like, I think it was like a ticket event, like how to earn tickets and stuff. But yeah, there's many events going on daily or at least every other day to keep you there. Also, there's a social aspect to the game. There's guilds and the all chat. Everyone was using it. That's how people were finding your friends because friends can. There's another currency in this game. It's hearts, and you can friend people and then send them. I think they're like friend points, and you can use the hearts to like buy certain items. So everyone's trying to be friends with everyone they can to get that daily resource or currency, excuse me. But it was pretty active when I was in there, even for like how early in development it was. But I will say, you know, players drop off more than they stay, at least in my little bubble, like my little experience. Because I mean, obviously, I'm not playing it anymore. I'm watching it like a hawk. But I would go back every couple of days, and like my friend list, they all say like have been on in 2 weeks, 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, etc. Alan jumps on more than me to check out the events. Um, but yeah, I mean that's just how it goes with you know early games and early development. But there is a hardcore audience there. When you join, you will see people talking. There's a couple. When I was playing, it was like the same core, like 5 or 6 people who've been there for a while. And if you look in the leaderboards, because there's PVE leaderboards and stuff, like it's like the same 3 people, and there's like oh my god, there's the hardcore people are like in the top 20, right? But there's like the same people who socialize, and there's the same people who are always in the leaderboards, like grinding the hell out of this game to get their reward. But yeah, you do see like player activity daily. And then you know, the social aspect with everyone talking and the guilds and stuff, it's very easy to insert yourself into that and grind the game out while you wait for it to grow. I will say a lot of the guilds that I saw that were actively recruiting in all chat, they want minimum of like level 20 or level 30. I know there's probably some beginner guilds out there. To create a guild, you need, diamonds to create it. It's like $2 worth of diamonds, but you can, very slowly grind them out and create a guild for yourself. I'd say that's kind of like a downfall. Like, why can't give me the tools to make a guild without in-game currency? But yeah, you'll find somewhere to fit in, and if you so if you so choose so. If you do choose so. I don't fucking know. What am I saying? But yeah, um, what can I say about this game in closing? For almost a week of playing it, I had a good time. It completely engaged me, or I was completely engaged. I was playing other games on back burner, like even simple. Like I was picking up Mana Storia more than simple, but you can do both. It's not hard. Uh, and yeah, Al and I played the game via browser for most of the time, and it's not an ugly game. Like, it's nice to look at. The zones are cool, and it's I don't know. It just kept me playing for what was available. And I will say you'll reach level 20. Like, you'll reach what I would consider intermediate mode, because you're not a beginner, you're not in a tutorial, quite quickly. So you'll see what this game's all about very early on, especially with the bonuses for new players. And like I said earlier, I'm definitely keeping my eye on the development of Mana Storia. I know the game is like, when I saw it, the patches were including like changes to like designs and names, because of I think it's a copyright claim to like the Secrets of Mana and the other Mana games, because I saw the creators, he stated that the game was a fan project anyway to begin with, and now that's turning into something more. The claim came out and striked him, because I mean, the monsters were named the same, and some other stuff. I think locations too. So yeah, he's currently backtracking to change stuff, but I don't think it's not killing the game. Like, he hasn't thrown in the towel. So that's going on, but the game is still developing. It's still moving forward, and there is a roadmap that you can view to see what's coming up. But yeah, I mean, if you're all I can say is, if you're looking for a new mobile, but primarily browser-based MMORPG, that's still in development, that still has a lot of growing pains to get through, check it out. Like I said, like, for a new player, you get so much bonus, like resources and in-game currency and premium, that it's a really good demo, I would say, and a really good intro to the game. Um, and even if you're like, okay, this does sound cool, I'm just going to play it for like the same time I did, and walk away. Well, it wasn't a waste of time. It was fun. And it's helped me open my eyes to like what I like in browser games and browser MMOs, and to what look forward to next, right? In my in my next list of mobile MMOs or browser MMOs that I've created for myself, just what I need, more, more backlog. If it's not Steam, with cinder blocks to my feet in the middle of a lake, it's going to be this now. But yeah, I definitely recommend it. Definitely check it out. It's just see what it's about, and if you liked it, if you didn't, I'd be interested to hear your perspective on it. Drop me a line, via Discord or even through our website. You can contact us there. I'm always down to talk, RPGs and MMORPGs, all of it, always down. But yeah, that's all I got. All the social media links are in the podcast description. Be sure to check out our website at www.couchcatgaming.com and hit us up in the Discord, where we post all of our content. We're in there chilling daily. We're in there streaming and having a good time. But yeah, that's all I got. See ya.